Good morning, good evening, or even mid morning, depending on where you are watching this show from. My name is Lucy, and this is Nurturing Generations for Christ, a program that comes to you once a week. And we always talk about matters to do with children or generations. When we talk about generations, you know that we can talk about grandparents, we can talk about parents, we can talk about children of all ages. And it's a good thing to have you following this show. And I believe we are getting helped, more enlightened in the areas concerning children. Thank you very much for following this show. And I want us today to talk about the Gen Z. You know, when we talk about the Gen Z, it's become a household description of a particular generation. And on this show, remember, we have talked about the unborn children, the ones that are not yet born, and how to disciple them. We have also talked about different age groups like 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 12, 13 to 15, and we have talked about teens and all that, and every time we talked about discipling those age groups, we first looked at their characteristics, how they behave socially, emotionally, and physically, how they are developing in those areas, so that we can know how they learn and what we need to teach them at what particular age group. And I'm sure we have followed that. And that's why today, when we talk about the Gen Z, when we talk about the Gen Z, sometimes we can pick them from age 14, 15, all the way to 28, depending on how you look at that window. And it's important every time we think about discipling a particular age group. You see, it's important to analyze their characteristics, because that will help us to know how to interact with them, how to train them, how to disciple them, even how to interact with them, And when we talk about Gen Zs, especially in this season, that's a very interesting group, are people that I'm sure you really wish that they were your disciples, because they are very interesting. It's an interesting group, and I want to give you some snapshots of Gen Z. Gen Zs, when you talk about them, one of the things that comes clear to all of us is that they are strikingly individualistic. All right. And again, it's good to know they are also curious. The Gen Zs are very curious and well informed. If you have Gen Zs in your house, they know how to use your phone. If you don't give them the password, they know how to hack it. They know all that. What you don't know, the Gen Zs knows. That's why we are saying. And they're eager to know. That's why we are saying to learn even more. That's why we are saying they are curious and well informed. And they have unlimited access to information. In other words, they are native to the digital world. It's like that's their life. They grew up, and it's down to them. We lived in a digital world where you never lived yourself. And so you need to have it in your mind that they're native to the digital world, and also know that they are searching for happiness as a major goal. Being happy for Gen Z is a major goal. So the Gen Zs, as you see them do things, get to the internet, to the technological world, the digital arena, just know that they are searching for happiness as a major goal. All right, and then they're also focused on financial and emotional security. And then you also need to know they are very pragmatic about their education and career choices. Those are our Gen Zs. So that when we interact with them, we don't get surprised. Who are these? It's good to know what are their interests. You see, what are they looking forward to? What do they want to learn? So that we choose our topics very well, and so that we are able to meet their needs. That's why I'm giving you those snapshots. Now, as we continue, when we say that Gen Zs are motivated by financial stability for security and independence, we also need to know that they are cautious and realistic in decision making. They are very, they just don't do things. Gen Zs don't do things. You can't underestimate them. No, they are cautious and realistic in decision making. And then another thing that you need to know, that's why I'm calling them snapshots, they are diverse and tolerant of ideas and identities. Then you also need to know then Gen Zs, when we look at them, we think about questioning, and they question and very a bit skeptical about traditions and institutions. I'm sure by now you know that. Then they are really facing some really relational pressure due to social media. Then Gen Zs are facing great relational pressure due to social media, because you all know that we are all of us there. They understand the social media better, and the social media can really be challenging. And then because of that, they are experiencing greater levels of anxiety and depression. Again, even if they are experiencing greater levels of anxiety and depression, they are innovative, entrepreneurial, and very creative. Those are our Gen Zs. And then they are always interested in making a unique contribution to the world around them. All right? And then it's a God-designed generation for a God-given task. Have that one in mind. When we talk about the Gen Zs, it's a God-given generation, and then it's designed for a particular task.